Revenue recognition isn't just about checking off tasks. It's about demonstrating that you're permitted to recognize revenue in the first place. Many teams dive straight into revenue without confirming if they're eligible to recognize it at all. Let's begin our revenue recognition workbook by heading over to the Revenue Recognition tab. Here, we'll access our first tab, our initial section where we define the contract. We'll start by determining if a contract exists under ASC 606. Next, we'll complete the contract verification. If No is selected for any of these items, a flag will appear indicating that the contract may not meet the ASC 606 definition for revenue recognition. You can still continue for documentation purposes. Our following step involves defining the performance obligations. For this example, we've chosen a single performance obligation. If the system detects multiple performance obligations, it will flag it as a risk assessment. We can outline the obligation and add any necessary notes to it. Next, let's define the transaction price. For this fixed contract, it's a $15,000 agreement with no variable consideration, no financing component, no cash consideration, no consideration payable to the customer, and no refunded rights. Now, we'll allocate the transaction price. Since this example involves only one obligation, we'll select No for multiple obligations. However, if we indicated multiple obligations, a risk flag would appear noting high judgment, and we'd need to choose our adjustment or estimation approach, whether that's adjusted market assessment, expected cost plus margin, or the residual approach. For now, we'll stick with No for multiple obligations and proceed. We'll then decide on our timing of recognition. In this case, we'll opt for recognition over time, indicating that the customer receives and consumes the benefit simultaneously. We'll measure progress by the time elapsed. In our scenario, we're handling an annual maintenance fee for grounds. This means we would recognize the $15,000 spread across 12 months, recognizing it monthly. We have formal acceptance of provisions, selecting Yes. A risk flag appears, indicating non-standard acceptance terms that need review. We'll continue. In this section, we can identify special topics. A primary topic noted is the principal versus agent assessment. We can also identify if there's a bill and hold arrangement, warranties, or contract modifications if this isn't a new contract. Finally, we can review the Revenue Recognition Workbook and save it as a draft. Options include saving as a draft, saving to policies, or completing our review. For our purposes, we'll save the draft workbook, allowing our manager to review and then publish it to the Policies folder. Once we move over to the Policies folder, we can see all of our policies. When the draft is approved, it will be published.